Alright, hello. We have a breaking news story in Brooklyn today. We got word earlier this morning that there was a shooting along the Belt Parkway in Brooklyn. And I first found out about this morning on 1010 Wins. So we are going to watch a report from Channel 7 in just a bit. But guess what, folks? I was checking to see if Channel 1 was leading off this morning, and no surprise. Channel 1 today was too obsessed talking about Eric Adams, or as I like to call him, Mayor Hypocrite. So, we are going to watch the video right now. So let me just mute my mic, and what we are going to do is just move this a little bit to the left. Channel 7 did a good job covering it, and I figured they would. So, here's the video from Channel 7.
Are closed. And breaking news right now, all westbound lanes at the Belt Parkway at Cropsey Avenue in Brooklyn are closed. Here's a look at what is happening. Police tell us that some shots were fired. In fact, officers shooting at a suspect, we're told. Now an investigation is underway. Not many more details available at this hour. We do know there are no injuries to officers or civilians. Of course, we're working to learn more. As soon as we do, we'll bring it to you.
This morning, a 17-year-old is in jail charged with the murder.
Well, I thought it was a lengthy report, but, yeah, I'll just read what the AM New York article was saying. So, this is what it said. The thief nabbed the car pieces on Knapp Street and drove onto southbound Belt Parkway. So it says here, police spotted the person and tried to stop the suspects when one of the officers fired at the alleged thief's car, but nobody was struck by the bullets. The source didn't say what the cops shot at the suspect. The person fled the scene, but cops recovered the suspect's white Porsche, who was further found down the road. It says that there were shell casings along the Belt Parkway, where cops were setting up markers and gathering evidence earlier this morning. So, there were no injuries. So that's the good news. So, it says that the Belt Parkway was closed after 7 o'clock this morning. And, man, thank goodness this wasn't next week, because obviously there would have been more people on the road, given that it is Easter Sunday next week. So, and I know the stretch of the Belt Parkway too well. Cropsey Avenue, Belt Parkway. Let's look it up. Sorry if I'm spelling it wrong. I just haven't been to this part of Brooklyn in a very long time. You gotta understand that I have been out of the loop. So this is Cropsey Avenue. And guess where this is, folks? Take a lucky guess. Not too far from where Coney Island is. And this is technically Bath Beach. Yeah, so this is Bath Beach. Not too far from Gravesend. So this is where the Belt Parkway was shut down, right around here. Yeah. Okay, so right around here. This is where the Belt was shut down. Now, I was a little bit worried. Please tell me this wasn't Erskine Street. But thank goodness this wasn't Erskine Street or Pennsylvania Avenue, because that would have been too close to home for yours truly. A little bit too close to home. Because I have connections in Mill Basin, so trust me, it's... Anyhow, you get the idea. Channel 1 didn't cover it. They're too busy today. You know what they're too busy covering today. It's clearly obvious. Clearly obvious. Where's the in the paper section? Where's the in the paper section? I want to show you. Let's see what was let off in the papers this morning. Let's see. Well, surprisingly, it wasn't even brought up in the papers this morning.
Okay, time to take a look at what's in
I do apologize for the buffering.
the papers on this Sunday morning.
And we start with the front page of the New York Post. A lot of different stories on the front page here. More on that teen tragically killed walking home from school. More on Hunter Biden's laptop. And
yeah, we're going to watch the Channel 1 video about the teenager that was killed in the Bronx, because that was a very awful story. That's been making news all weekend. But guess what, folks? We do have to get to some news from Queens. And obviously, what's the breaking news from Queens, you may be wondering. Well, we had a fatal accident on the Cross Island Parkway, so let's get into it. Passenger dies while driver collides into a guardrail on the Cross Island Parkway. So Channel 1's obviously going to ignore this. So let's read this. Police are investigating after a 24-year-old passenger was killed when the vehicle she collided in with the guardrail on the Cross Island Parkway early Friday morning. Authorities say that the victim was a passenger along with a 32-year-old woman in a 2017 Mercedes-Benz operated by the 26-year-old woman. The driver was heading southbound on the Cross Island Parkway around 3 a.m. on Friday, April 8th, when she collided with the guardrail, causing the car to flip over. Officers from the 105th Precinct and EMS responded to the scene to find all three women with injuries. So, where did this happen? Because Laura Uhl, I think, gave specific more details. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Alright, so this is by Hillside Avenue. Okay, so thank goodness we have Laura Uhl, because we would have not had the specifics, because the Queen's Courier, again, they should really start learning how to proofread their articles. But, in that regard, EMS transported the 24-year-old woman to Franklin Hospital in Valley Stream, where she was pronounced dead. Due to federal HIPAA law, her identity is being withheld pending family notification. The two other women were transported to North Shore University Hospital's Trauma Center in Manhasset in stable condition. So that obviously makes sense, because remember, LIJ doesn't have a trauma center. So, it says here, police could not confirm the cause of the collision, and a spokesperson said that the investigation is ongoing by the NYPD's Highway Patrol Collision Investigation Squad. So, obviously, a 24-year-old girl was killed in a car crash this weekend. Nothing to hear about it from Channel 1. And, I'm not even going to further get into it. So, anything else that we do have to get into? Yes, so the girl in the Bronx. But before we get into that, I do have to read an article regarding an awful incident that happened in Long Island, but it does have Queens connections. Before I get into the bank robbery, apparently I'm reading this now. There was an accident Friday night on the LIE by Main Street in Flushing with multiple injuries. And this happened right by Booth Memorial Medical Center. 10 vehicles involved. 3 were drag racing when another hit a vehicle, causing the mess. EMS are on the scene, so of course that would make sense, because you're literally on top of Booth Memorial Medical Center. I still wish it wasn't called New York Presbyterian, because I'm sorry, but that's just a disgrace to the history of the neighborhood. It should be called Booth Memorial Medical Center. That's what my old job coach said. Should have never been a name change. So here we go. Guess what, folks? The bank robber in Fresh Meadows made his way to Little Neck on Friday. Police are at Northern Boulevard and 252nd Street reporting a bank robbery. This is the same matching description of the Fresh Meadows bank robbery that happened on 188th Street and Union Turnpike in Fresh Meadows. The perp took off southbound on 252nd Street. This is at the Chase Bank. Same old story. The suspect passed a note demanding random money, ransom, right, and took off with the cash. This is the same suspect who's also accused of robbing 2 other banks in Rego Park and another bank in Bayside. So there you go. I mean, Channel 1's obviously not going to cover it, because we just don't care. We're Channel 1. We'll just ignore the news that just happens to be in Queens. So let's take a look and go over to Little Neck. I know exactly where this bank is. I know exactly where it is. Let's go here. So this is here. Gotta go to 252nd Street. This is a little bit unusual. Where's the Chase? Alright, here we go. So this is where the chase was. I know exactly where this is. Right here. Yep. And I know this building very, very well. Yep. This is actually a pretty fancy building. I'm surprised this guy ended up here. Right on the Queens-Nassau border. So there you go. I mean, this is what's going on in New York City right now. The crime is really getting rampant. It's really getting out of hand. And again, it's really gotten to a point where I wish I could just move. It's really getting to that point right now where I feel my safety is at risk right now. Okay, let's see. Looking for here. This is what I was looking for. So, there was a Norfolk health worker from Queens shot and killed by her ex-boyfriend stalker from Long Island. So let's read this. A Bayshore man has been arrested for allegedly killing a 33-year-old Norfolk health employee from Queens outside of her job in New Hyde Park last week, according to authorities in Nassau County. Quishon Renard Hines was charged with second-degree murder in the shooting death of Amelia Lagour of St. Albans, Queens. Police did not disclose the nature of the relationship between the suspect and the victim. Well, eventually we knew what happened. Later on. When was this article published? Yeah, it was published on Friday. This isn't the latest information. Let's see if we can go on Newsday. I think there was an update on the Newsday website. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Wow, so there's even a video. Okay. That's good news at least. So I want to zoom in. And thank goodness I have a Newsday subscription, because then I would not be able to read this. Here we go. The man suspected of fatally shooting Northwell Health employee Amelia Lagour in a company parking lot in New Hyde Park is a former boyfriend who violently abused her and then stalked her when she wouldn't agree to restart the relationship, Nassau County Police said yesterday. Quishon Richard Hines of Bayshore was arrested Friday morning, April 8th in Merrick, on his way to a U.S. Postal Service job, Detective Captain Stephen Fitzpatrick said at a news conference. Hines pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder charge in his arraignment Saturday at 1st District Court in Hempstead. Nassau County District Judge Eileen Goggin ordered him remanded without bail. Hines allegedly shot Lagour, 33, of St. Albans, Queens, 9 times in the afternoon of March 31st in the garage at 1999 Marcus Avenue. So I know these medical places very, very well. I've gotten medical treatment before, I think, in that building. She leaves behind a son. Fitzpatrick believes that the boy is 5 years old. Nassau County District Attorney Ann Donnelly called the killing a particularly causeless case. So I can barely even make out this word. So it says here, according to the preliminary investigation, less than 1 hour after Hines allegedly shot Miss Lagour, he went to the gym, Donnelly said. At the arraignment, Assistant District Attorney Jared Rosenblatt, Borough Chief of the District Attorney's Homicide Squad, said that the day after the shooting, Hines gave a police written statement of his alibi. He gave several false statements and denied he was involved in the shooting. After police arrested Hines, he gave a video interview admitting that he was in the parking garage at the time of the shooting, but did not admit to the killing. Fitzpatrick said that Hines did not have any prior arrests. So, that is some decent news on that end. So, he must have just snapped. That's what I think. Alright, so I'm trying to find out when he is going to be due back in court. So it says here that Hines is due back in court on Tuesday. So this is very interesting how busy the court system is going to be in Nassau County. You have this trial going on, and don't forget, Ed Mangano is supposed to be sentenced on Thursday. So keep that in mind, and here at Andy's Randomness, we will be closely paying attention to that. If we can get a video feed, we may go live on Thursday. If we do get a feed in from the courthouse in Suffolk County, because obviously, again, there are a lot of high emotions going into the arraignment of former Nassau County Executive Ed Mangano on Thursday. So I just quickly want to bring that up since we are briefly talking about news from Nassau County. Okay, so now what I want to do to wrap up this video is play this, and then I'm going to show you, again, what is everybody bragging about today, because it's just ridiculous. Actually, no, hang on. I actually had one more video I wanted to play. Yeah, here we go. I found it.
Well, police are looking for a group of suspects in connection with another violent subway attack, and this one taking place on a B train Wednesday afternoon. Police released this video of the 4 teenage suspects. They say that the teens assaulted a 48-year-old man after getting into an argument, punching the victim in the face and arm and cutting him on the forehead with a sharp object. He was treated at the hospital, is expected to be okay. The suspects took off at the 110th Street station in Morningside Heights. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIP.
So there you go. I mean, Channel 1's not going to cover that, but I will give them credit. At least they covered this. So let me put it on high quality. And thankfully, with Channel 1's website, you do get a little brief pause there.
She was just a sweet little girl. She was always with her parents. I mean, she did no wrong. She was an innocent child.
A community is in shock, reflecting on the shooting death of 16-year-old Anjali Yambo. Cynthia Edwards has known Yambo's family for more than a decade.
No one would want this on a child or any person. It's just an innocent kid, and it hurts me because I know she was an innocent kid. I know she wasn't a bad trouble kid. I know she wasn't into anything crazy. Just an innocent kid coming home.
Police responded to the call at around 1:45 in the afternoon Friday at 156th Street and St. Anne Avenue near University Heights High School's South Bronx campus. Yambo was shot in the chest and pronounced dead shortly after. A 17-year-old boy was shot in the buttocks and another 16-year-old girl was shot in the shin. Both are expected to be okay and are recovering at Lincoln Hospital. Police say the 3 of them were innocent bystanders walking home after school.
You send your child to school, you send your child out your house, you want them to come home. When they don't come home, you being a parent, a neighbor, just knowing someone, it's hurting.
Edwards says the mayor needs to address the violence.
Please make a change for the gun violence. Gun needs to stop.
In the Bronx, Justine Ray, New York 1.
So you see, they're too focused on talking about curbing gun violence, but yet they're not showing any sympathy to this family who lost their teenage daughter. I mean, it's so obvious what this TV station's trying to do. It's so obvious. I mean, this was a beautiful young girl who had a lot to live for, and now she's gone. And again, no sympathy. None. None. So meanwhile, this is what Channel 1 is so focused on today, along with everybody else. Literally, I put New York 1 on this morning. That's how angry I am. I put them on, and like, a top story this morning, Eric Adams is celebrating 100 days as mayor of New York City. Oh, Eric Adams is mayor for 100 days. Meanwhile, there's a shooting on the Belt Parkway this morning where it could have been a lot worse. Okay, keep in mind, there weren't that many people on the road today. But imagine, again, it could have been more fatal. It could have been more fatal, given that more people are going to be traveling for Easter next week. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. You just can't. And then everyone's getting suspicious about Eric Adams today. Apparently, we don't know if he has the COVID. You know how? Let's go on Twitter. Let's go on Twitter. Care to explain why Eric Adams has canceled his public schedule? Mayor Eric Adams was supposed to be live today in Coney Island to open a Wonder Wheel. Then Eric Adams was supposed to be on MSNBC. Then it says that Eric Adams was supposed to be at the Wonder Wheel. So apparently Eric Adams was supposed to be in Brooklyn today. Then the mayor will deliver virtual welcoming remarks to Teachers College, Columbia University. So, I don't know. I mean, this kind of sounds suspicious. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. But, again, folks, everyone is addicted to this guy. They're so addicted. Like, why does everybody embrace Eric Adams when he really hasn't done anything in his first 100 days? I don't understand it. But that's just going to wrap up this video. I'm done talking for today. I'm done. I'm just, I'm trying to watch Tiger Woods at the Masters today. And I might as well go do that while I upload this video. So, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching.